This has been a week of winning for President Trump already. And in the week's remaining days, it looks as though all he'll be doing is running up the score.
For years and years, you watched as your leaders apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America. I'm proud of America.
And Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith is proud to have the president's support. She's celebrating her re-election in Mississippi today, thanks in large measure to the boost she received from two election eve rallies led by none other than the President of the United States. The latest opinion polls showing Americans embracing President Trump's border wall and America First immigration policies as they watch the increasingly desperate and violent tactics of the migrant caravan that has quickly worn out its welcome in the Mexican city of Tijuana, located just south of the California border. And you won't hear the left-wing national media do what I'm about to do, and that's acknowledge that President Trump was absolutely correct when he admonished the Federal Reserve for raising interest rates. And the stock market today soared, the Dow up more than 600 points, that after investors at midday heard the Federal Reserve Chairman's newfound constraint on the subject of interest rate hikes. Call it the Trump vindication rally. There was even a dash of humility evident in Jerome Powell's rhetoric today. Credit a little gentle tutoring on monetary policy from the president. And a turbulent, rebellious market that turned volatile 2 months ago, right after Powell gave a speech declaring higher rates were in the offing. A lot of news, as you can tell, to cover here tonight. And with their perspective on it all, our all-star lineup, including Congressman Matt Gaetz, Congressman Andy Biggs, Republican strategist Ed Rollins. And after a stern warning by the Chinese that the president's trade policies could lead to a depression or even a war, we have China expert Michael Pillsbury with us. And to talk about why the Chinese are resorting to childish foot stamping and hyperbolic squealing just because they don't want to give up their theft of hundreds of billions of dollars of American intellectual property each and every year. Our top story tonight, President Trump accusing the Mueller witch hunt of ushering in a new era of McCarthyism. In an interview with the New York Post today, President Trump said he is not ruling out a pardon for former campaign manager Paul Manafort. The president said Mueller's team is trying to coerce Manafort to lie in order to incriminate the president and members of his campaign. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge with the story from Washington.
During an Oval Office interview, President Trump told the New York Post he has not ruled out a pardon for former campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Quote, "It was never discussed, but I wouldn't take it off the table. Why would I take it off the table?" the president said. Mr. Trump also alleged that Manafort, one-time political advisor Roger Stone, and his associate Jerome Corsi were pressured to lie. Quote, "You know, this flipping stuff is terrible. You flip and you lie and you get..." The prosecutors will tell you 99% of the time they can get people to flip. It's rare that they can't. On the Senate floor, a bill to protect special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation was blocked after Democrats and one Republican made their case.
We've already seen the forced resignation of the Attorney General a day after the election. It's clear, therefore, that something has to be done to protect Mr. Mueller's investigation.
This is about the legislative branch asserting a common sense check and balance on presidential overreach.
The Senate floor action seems symbolic after the majority leader made his objections known Tuesday.
This is a solution in search of a problem. The president's not going to fire Robert Mueller.
New records obtained by Fox News show Mueller's investigation focused on the Hack Clinton campaign emails released in 2016 by WikiLeaks, its founder Julian Assange, and any connections to the Trump campaign. The draft plea agreement offered to Corsi earlier this month accuses him of lying to federal investigators, a charge he denied to Fox.
I've never met Julian Assange. I've never spoken with him. I've never emailed him. I've had no contact with Julian Assange whatsoever.
The special counsel documents cite an August 2016 Corsi email referring to Assange and predicting a timetable for the release of emails from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. Quote, word his friend in embassy plans 2 more dumps, one shortly after I'm back, second in October. Impact planned to be very damaging. Corsi said the email that accurately predicted WikiLeaks would publish emails in October 2016 was based on his analysis, not insider information.
I figured it out and told Roger Stone and told many people in August, and it just happened that I was right.
A source with direct knowledge of the investigation tells Fox News the president's written answers to Mueller are consistent with his public statements. On the June 2016 Trump Tower meeting, which included Manafort, the president tweeted last summer he had no advance knowledge. A status hearing for the Manafort case is now scheduled for Friday in Washington, Lou.
Catherine, thank you very much. Catherine Herridge reporting. President Trump also continues to push a lame duck Congress to come up with the money he wants to build a wall along the southern U.S. border with Mexico. President Trump said today he would be, quote, totally be willing to shut part of the government down if his demands aren't met by next week. Chief Congressional Correspondent Mike Emanuel is on Capitol Hill tonight with more.
As the human drama plays out at the southern border, President Trump has signaled he's willing to shut down part of the government 1 week from Friday, demanding more money for his border wall. Retiring Speaker Paul Ryan says the House has delivered $5 billion.
Our bill contains the president's full request for the border, but ultimately the president and the Senate Democrats are going to have to come to agreement as well.
Senate Democrats like Connecticut's Richard Blumenthal are pushing back.
The demand for $5 billion is based on delusion, not reality.
President Trump told Politico late yesterday he doesn't do anything just for political gain. Still, this is a winner for him. Quote, people look at the border. They look at the rush to the police. They look at the rock throwers and really hurting 3 people, 3 very brave Border Patrol folks. I think that it's a tremendous issue, but much more importantly is really needed. So we have to have border security. Plus, the president is well aware he's about to be dealing with a Democrat-led House in the new year. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer is trying to hold his ground.
The $1.6 billion for border security negotiated by Democrats and Republicans is our position. We believe that is the right way to go. If there's any shutdown, it's on President Trump's back.
With time winding down, the majority leader is trying to deliver.
We're trying to get the president the money he would like for the wall. That's part of the year-end funding discussion, which is ongoing.
At this point, all the sources I've spoken with are not pushing the panic button. Their feeling is there's still time to cut a deal, but it's not entirely clear what it might be. Lou?
Mike, thank you very much. Mike Emanuel reporting. And it is curious that this is about $5 billion, not $25 billion, which is what is needed to construct that wall across the southern border. Perhaps the number will be adjusted appropriately and accordingly. It seems certain that a party that controls 3 branches of government should be able to, at the very least, get that done. A new study seems to suggest the number of illegal immigrants now in the United States is at its lowest level since 2004. But as national correspondent William LaJeunesse now reports, those numbers are wildly different from more comprehensive and credible studies.
We're not letting people into our country unless they come in legally.
Unrealistic maybe, but not unworthy of pursuit. According to a new study, the number of illegal immigrants living in the U.S. fell to its lowest level in a decade.
We have, for the first time, a majority of those coming to the U.S.-Mexico border are not Mexican, they're not single men, they're not just looking for work.
The Pew Research study found Mexicans today make up about half the illegal population, down considerably. 2/3 of migrants in the U.S. have been here 10 years or more, and 43% have U.S.-born children. Half those crossed the border illegally, the rest overstayed their visa. Pew's findings differ differ from a recent Yale study that suggests up to 22 million illegal immigrants live in the U.S., not 11. The Pew study is also based on the 2016 census, 2-year-old data that does not fully account for the recent surge from Central America.
What started as a drip, a drab, has now become a very large group.
Deterring them will require Mexico's help.
Mexico will continue to play an important role in stemming the flow, but they're not going to be able to stop it.
That flow from Latin America is also driving legal immigration. For the first time in a decade, Hispanics outnumber Asians arriving to the U.S. The U.S. immigrant population, legal and illegal, numbers more than 44 million, or roughly 14% of the nation. Well, Lou, the president hopes to reshape immigration policy by replacing family reunification with a merit system. But any study is a snapshot in time. As the exodus from Central America illustrates, immigration is fluid. Lou?
Especially illegal immigration. William, thank you very much. William Lajeunesse reporting. And we want to point out the headline of the Pew Research Center's study labeled illegal immigrants that they were addressing as, quote, unauthorized immigrants. It's amazing how liberal organizations and individuals, how far they'll go to avoid the word illegal. They're illegal. They're illegal immigrants. Simple, isn't it? All you have to do is just address that reality. Still ahead here tonight, the left-wing national media chooses to wildly speculate about the Mueller special counsel, or more appropriately, witch hunt, and what new developments with Paul Manafort could actually mean.
I think what it's also suggesting is that Manafort may have even committed treason when all is said and done.
Do you believe a pardon of Manafort by the president would be an admission of guilt by the president, considering Manafort's role in the campaign?
Yes, I would.
Why does that person lie? Because they are A, stupid, B, arrogant, C, shopping for a pardon so they don't have to worry about what the judge is going to sentence him.
It's either an extraordinary coincidence, or it's what collusion looks like. And this may be why the president so adamantly tries to deny collusion, because these facts are pretty damning.
How about one of those facts? Just one fact. That's all we need here. Maybe Adam Schiff should talk with the special counsel, get that one fact, because he's ignored the facts that say no collusion for the better part of 2 years. Congressman Matt Gaetz joins me here later tonight. We'll take that up, certainly, and much more. But up next, violent gang members in that caravan are now moving along our southern border. Why are they doing that? We take that up and more. Congressman Andy Biggs joins us when we come right back. Stay with us. Border Patrol agents say they have arrested an MS-13 gang member. He illegally crossed the border near Calexico in California. The Honduran gang member claims to have traveled through Mexico with the migrant caravan. Meanwhile, in Tijuana, the mayor of that Mexican border town says he has only enough resources to assist the thousands of migrants from Central America camped in and near his city for just a few more days before the city's treasurer goes broke. The city treasurer, by the way, claiming they've been spending about $30,000 a day because of the caravan arrivals. They're looking to the federal government of Mexico for help. It sounds a lot like America, doesn't it? Joining me now to take up the caravan crisis at the border, the president's threats to shut down the government if Congress fails to pay for his border wall, Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona, member of the House Judiciary Committee, the House Freedom Caucus. And Congressman, always good to talk with you. Let's start with this mess on the border. Do you think the president has successfully illustrated to the Mexican government and incoming President Manuel Lopez Obrador that this is Mexico's problem before it's ours?
I think he's done a great job trying to communicate that. Talking about shutting down the border is important. I think this bully pulpit that the president has exercised really is setting the tone. And at some point, I mean, we thought there was a deal last weekend, right, that Mexico was actually going to keep these folks. And it looks to me like they're trying to keep them, but they're not closing down their southern border yet, and they need to do that.
Yeah, and they need to do that. They need also to secure their northern border. This is part. There, you know, it was. I was one of those people who was hopeful that Lopez Obrador would be a partner for this president and act like a mature. Like Mexico deserved a mature and responsible leader, not another leftist, corrupt, politician. It looks like he has chosen the latter course, and that's a shame.
Well, I'm hopeful that things will get straightened out, because they have to get straightened out. Because if you look at Tijuana and what the mayor has said,
Congressman, they've had to get things straightened out since 1986, 32 years ago, and all they've done is exacerbate a horrible situation. An inhumane situation. The Mexican government hasn't given a rip about the people that it has urged economically and sociologically north to the United States. The same is true of the Central America. We have, and by the way, you talked about the president setting the right tone here. I mean, the great thing about him is he is a man of action, as he promised he would be. He's doing something everybody around him was clucking about his decision to put troops. I mean, in my opinion, he should have fired every person who objected to securing the border, because those people have got an agenda that is not in the national interest, is not in the interest of the American people. I would clean them up so fast their heads would spin.
Well, I agree with you, Lou. I mean, this is a long-standing problem, obviously, with Mexico. And look, you had a president when Vicente Fox. They were providing, yeah, they were providing brochures and pamphlets and maps on how to get up here, and
Vicente Fox is the biggest blowhard who did nothing but urge the poorest and the least educated of his society north of the border, and then had the temerity, to the gall, to lecture American citizens on their responsibility to Mexican nationals living in our country illegally. And he was put up with by the Bush administration, encouraged, and everything but given a big hug for being such a complete and utter blank.
Yes.
I can't even believe it. And Lopez Obrador wants to go down that same path. His people deserve better. He's a populist. He should be focused on the welfare of those people and their treatment by their government, because it has been a sordid and sorry story. Let me turn to this wall. We're hearing that it's a Democrat's fault. Here, with 5 weeks to go, the House of Representatives, led by that august conservative, that stalwart Republican, Paul Ryan, who decimated your party at the polls. We are also led in the Senate by Mitch McConnell. And the President of the United States wants a $25 billion wall built. He promised the American people. Suddenly he's talking about it's the Democrats' fault, and it's $5 billion he wants, not $25 billion. You people could screw up a vacant lot. You are I mean, it's disgusting what is happening now in Washington.
Right, yeah, we can't make a grilled cheese sandwich right. I mean, the reality is there are bills out there right now. There are methods like you could use the reconciliation
may I
method.
interrupt
you can do this.
Congressman?
Yeah.
I'm resorting to no adjectives and no name calling.
Yes, sir.
Speaker Ryan isn't worth a tinker's damn. He's not a leader. He has no character. He has no principle, or otherwise he would be supporting this president and acting in the national interest, not the interest of K Street, Wall Street, and the whole bunch. Koch brothers, the Business Roundtable. I mean, it's disgusting. Are you guys going to be able to get $25 billion in the president's hands without any strings? I love the idea of Congress with its strings. Paul Ryan and these fools he serves, the American people should, I mean, it's just disgusting. Are you going to get it done?
You want my
yes? I will shut up
opinion?
And you can give us the answer.
You want my honest opinion? My honest opinion is we're not going to get it done. We're not going to get the $25 billion. We're not going to get my bill through. Look, you could use Kevin McCarthy's bill. There are so many ways to get this done. You could do it through reconciliation.
Why $5 billion? Why not $25 billion?
It should be $25 billion.
Because $5 billion means it's a 10-year project. I mean, idiots could figure that out. And by the way, you've got so many of them in both parties on Capitol Hill. It's astonishing.
Yeah, well, look, we should be doing $25 billion. We should have done it 6 months ago. We should have done it a year ago. We should have done it 18 months ago.
We've got
5 weeks left.
Why didn't you guys Why didn't you get Paul Ryan out before he could destroy the party? Why did you let him sit there? I'm just curious.
Well, look at where the votes are, Lou. It's always about votes. And where are the votes? And I'm one vote, you know. And the bottom line is, this is the direction that it went, and so I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation.
No,
and
I understand.
Continually
and you're a good man,
urge
and you are a principled congressman, and that makes you definitely in the minority, irrespective of the party that's in charge.
Yeah, it's driving me crazy. Driving me crazy, Lou.
Well, it's driving us all crazy. That you can imagine what the president's thinking in the damn fools who are sitting there pushing him to take a $5 billion installment on a 10-year project. Yeah. This is pretty sad what is the quality of the people around this president.